I have been filming for 15 minutes now without turning on the camera. Hello! All of a sudden, and out of the ordinary, I actually had time to film today. And you know what happened? My skin decided to act up. Like, what even is that? But we can't pretend that you don't know that and you don't see that because I'm such far away. Like, I didn't even show you a close-up of my skin just right now. My whole idea about starting this channel was so that I could do a leftover fabric project. And today I would like to make a bag. This project could be really simple, all depending on how complicated you want it to be. For the project you probably need a glue gun. I got some cardboard that I digged out of the trash. And of course your leftover fabric. Here I have the ones I'm going to use. The reason I want to make a bag out of it is because this one is really hard to work with because it's so slippery, and this one is not so nice to wear unless you like to be shot by lightning. I also have this golden chain. This is from a necklace. I want to make the shoulder strap out of this, but if you want to make a project like this, you could probably use your leftover fabric to make the shoulder strap as well. I bought some magnets. I tried to Google how you pronounce that before I started, but you just have to live with my really bad English if you want to watch this video at all. I bought these magnets so I could have an easy way to close the bag, and I will probably just glue them on and they will do the trick. I really think that's all you need for the project. Now I will start by sketching out the shape of the fabrics that I will like and just glued it on. Okay. The first thing I did was to trace off the shape of the cardboard on a piece of used wrapping paper. After cutting out the wanted shape in the fabric that I'm using, I use chalk to mark out where the corners are supposed to be. As I do not have any cute animals to walk in the background, you can please enjoy my mother's feet as she walks around in the living room. I used my ruler as well as the chalk to make lines of where the fabric is supposed to fold, as well as marking out the seam allowance. I used my sewing machine to stitch on small rectangles that are going to be the sides of the bag. They should match up with the lines that I drawn earlier. I started with the middle part, then I folded over to match up the side seams. I pinned it in place and found out that the corner could be a bit tricky, but we're just handling stuff along the way. When the seams were done, I had to control that it was all coming along the way I wanted it to. When all my seams were done, it was time for some test fitting. Here you can see my beautiful model trying on her clothes. And it looks like I'm on the right track. This gives me an idea of what the bag will look like when it's finished. After the fitting, I arranged the fabric the way I wanted it to go, and then have a next fitting after sewing it to see if it actually fits. I did also cut out some pieces of what's supposed to be the inner lining. This little rectangle you can see here are supposed to be a pocket. I arranged the pocket where I wanted it to be on the fabric in the lining. Then I went on and folded in the raw edges of the pocket and pinned it to the lining. Before I went on and attaching the pocket to the lining, as you're seeing here, I had already top stitched the upper edge of the pocket to avoid it from fraying. I also made sure that the fabric were folding correctly in the corners of the pocket to make them stay sharp and give that rectangular shape that I'm going for here. When it was all pinned in place, I went ahead to my sewing machine. To get that sharp edge of the corner that I was talking about, you lift up your pressing foot while the needle is still in, then turn around the fabric and keep on sewing. I didn't actually make a plan for this project, so in this clip here I'm just winging it and thought I had an idea of what I was doing, which we will later discover that I did not have. Luckily for me, this project is not such a big project and my error didn't cost me that much time. Here I am at my sewing machine sewing the wrong pieces together and also backstitching them to make it extra hard for myself. Then I realized I was just making a fool out of myself and had to open all the stitches that I just did. So just get to work then. Then I regrouped my brain cells, trying to figure out how I'm really supposed to do this. Then I went to my sewing machine and hopefully sew the pieces together correctly this time. My plan was to instruct this part of the video and tell what I was doing, but since I barely knew what I was doing myself, it's kind of hard to give instructions. And here you can meet Mr. Napkin Head, as we all love from the holiday movie. As my bag was looking a bit thin with only the cardboard, I used this cotton material here to give it a little bit more fluff. This I just glued on with a regular glue stick. As you can see, it is the next day. We have daylight on our pictures and I have glued in the lining with a hot glue gun. Probably not the way to do it, but that's how we roll today. I have yet to secure the outer layer because first I need to sew on the small rectangles that are going to hold the shoulder strap. When that is done, the only thing left is to ensure that the outer layers stay in place. This I will do with hand stitches. Just pin it in place like you can see in the pictures here, then use hand stitches to sew it on. I've also taken out a piece of the necklace as the shoulder strap. I secured it this way so I can both use it as a handbag in my hand and take it out to have it on my shoulder. Then ruin the whole bag by gluing on these magnets. That was all for today. This is the result. The process was a bit more complicated than I thought it would be, and I used my sewing machine way more than I thought. But I hope you enjoyed the video and that I will see you in another video another time. So goodbye. I hate this part when I talk way too much. Right, let's get to it.